Today on Dr. Phil.
He's convinced his fiancée is cheating on him.
With his friends, neighbors, and even the mailman.
And hidden cameras capture her every move.
He wanted me to explain a banging sound in the kitchen, believing I was having sex. And that's not me cutting onions. He thinks that we've had sex on his bed.
With the mailman. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. Thank you. Well, my guest today, Tom, wanted me to see just what was going on inside his home, so he sent me some of his surveillance videos. In fact, his fiancée, Tika, believes Tom has at least 8 cameras set up in their home, including the bathroom, that he monitors constantly. But it's not just to stop a home invader or a burglary. No. Tika says Tom watches her because he's convinced she's cheating on him with his friends, neighbors, co-workers, barbers, and even the mailman. Now, Tika says she loves Tom, but says what she calls his cheating OCD has turned her into a literal prisoner in their home. Take a look.
My fiance Tom is 100% convinced that I'm cheating on him. I've done everything I can to prove to him it's all in his head. Why can't you trust me?
That's over. Gonna find out.
Tom thinks that I've been unfaithful to him with people from his job, my neighbors. Tom thinks that I'm hooking up with the mailman. Nothing ever happened with the mailman.
Where's the 5 packages he said he had to deliver to me the day that he was in my house?
Tom has secretly installed video cameras to catch me in the act. There's so many cameras that I don't know exactly where they all are. Tom had confronted me about a video that he had shot of me, and I was sitting on the bed with my daughter. I'm making a psh psh sound with my daughter, and Tom believes that my voice is a male's voice. Tom has completely violated my trust. I believe that these nail holes are not actual nail holes. There's at least 1 camera or 2 here. He wanted me to explain a banging sound in the kitchen, believing I was having sex with some random person. I can't hear the sound.
Oh, it comes back on again.
And that's not me cutting onions. Tom ditched our plans to get married this month. I've invested my heart and soul and given up everything to be in this relationship. I moved away from Hawaii. I left my career. Every day makes me feel like this has been the worst decision I've ever made.
All right. Well, Tika, I'm glad to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
You're in a bind here.
Yeah.
Now,
It's been very difficult.
that was a long time ago when you guys first met, right?
Right.
And then you went on your separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
And he got married,
He did.
then got divorced,
Yes.
and you guys hooked up how?
Well, we remained friends on social media.
Right.
And I've kind of been a shoulder that he's been crying on, but appropriately for him being married. So we've been friends that maintain a friendship, sharing our important moments together via social media. And so I knew it was coming. And he said that he's getting a divorce. And I said, well, do you want to get remarried? Because I considered him as the one that got away 12 years ago when it didn't work out between us. And I was excited to give it another chance because I was in love with him.
He broke up with his wife, and he got in touch with you and asked you to get back together, and you moved to Florida.
No. That did happen like that, but I wouldn't just move to Florida immediately. I came for 3 to 4 weeks to make sure that we still had a connection because it had been 7 years that we were friends.
Okay.
So did we still have a love connection? And he was on his P's and Q's. And then I moved. What I want you to understand is that I didn't just up and move.
Oh, the hell you didn't.
Well,
You're trying to explain that away, and I was going to just kind of
glaze over it.
But if you just want to get into the details,
Yeah.
from the time he recontacted you to the time you moved in was 2 months.
Probably less, yeah.
And did you take anyone with you?
No, I left my daughter with her father.
And she's how old?
She's 2. And I left her there for the first 2 months or so. And then she came. But he was still on his best behavior.
So, his wife leaves him. You've been talking to him while he was married.
Correct.
As a friend.
Correct. Right, friends, platonic friends.
Yeah. Okay.
It happens.
Well, maybe. I don't have any women I talk to on the internet.
I love you. I love her so much. Yeah.
Except her. She's not home. Now, he really thinks you slept with his friend, the mailman.
Absolutely. He's
He's convinced.
100% convinced. He thinks that we've had sex on his bed.
With the mailman.
Yes.
So, Tika's fiance, Tom, claims there's zero trust left in their relationship after all this time, like weeks. He claims that she's had sex in his house with a lot of people, including the mailman.
Tika is very sneaky. She's very deceptive. How come when I put that video on the stereo and it sounded like a sex act, you didn't even want to watch it? You thought you got caught. This video, you could take it to China and people will understand what that sound is.
And later,
I left my entire life in Hawaii to be with this man that I loved. And he's willing to throw that under the bus for a pew, pew, pew sound.
No.
As if it's meaningless.
If that was the only video I had, we wouldn't be here right now.
well, let's look at some others.
I feel trapped in my own home.
So in this clip here, Tika does what appears to be some gestures with her hands signaling maybe somebody to go around to the back door.
While Tom's at work, he will call me at least 8 times a day. Tom even makes me video call him to look under the bed and in closets to prove that I'm not with another man. Why can't you trust me? Why can't you love me?
I don't believe you, Tika.
Tom is more comfortable if I don't work. If I got a job, I believe he'd sabotage it. Technically, I'm allowed to leave the house, but it's all discouraged by Tom. It's like I'm a prisoner to his insecurities.
Tom says even though he's never caught her in the act, after reviewing his surveillance videos all weekend, he is now 100% convinced she is cheating. Now, he also told my producer backstage that because of that, Tika is not returning to Florida with him after the show. Let's look at what he had to say on tape.
Tika is trying to convince me that she is not sleeping around with other men and that everything that I'm seeing is all in my imagination.
It is so hurtful that you can't trust me.
My intuition is never wrong. Tika is very sneaky. She's very deceptive. How come when I put that video on the stereo and it sounded like a sex act, you didn't even want to watch it? You thought you got caught. I feel like that is the smoking gun. This video, you could take it to China and people will understand what that sound is. As far as Tika cheating on me with the mailman, words were said between them that led me to believe that she was giving him an open invitation to come to my house and have sex.
I've had these cameras since before Tika moved in. She thinks there's 12 of them. Here's one. In reality, there's only 2 that I move around a lot.
This whole thing with the cameras is like a big game to her.
There's another one right here. I'm not gonna reveal all the places I put them.
Those cameras are a complete violation of trust and privacy.
I do have solid video clips of other people in my house. Tika walking from the dining room area into the bedroom. A minute later, somebody jumping out from behind the dining room wall. You can clearly see that it is a male adult.
It's an ongoing situation that you say is all in my head.
It hurts me to see you so reactive to all of this.
If this really is all in my head, then maybe I am insane. But if all this evidence comes out and is conclusive, it's a wrap. The relationship is over.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Dr. Bill.
How you doing?
I've been better.
Yeah. You said that after reviewing the evidence, you are now 100% convinced that she is cheating on you.
I am 100% convinced.
100%
yes,
convinced.
100%.
And that you have video evidence that she's cheating on you.
Yes, sir.
So you have no doubts whatsoever.
I have not only the video evidence that I submitted to you or to your producer, but I have additional evidence that while I was on the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning with your producer, there were people in my house.
And when were
here.
you when were you on the phone with?
That was before they filmed at the house.
Tom, if you're watching me 100% of the time on video, what person, what human being do you see? There's nobody there. This is all in your head.
Okay.
You're delusional.
Well, let's look at the evidence and see if that's true.
Okay, I've seen everything you've given us.
Okay.
So I've seen it all.
Okay.
Okay, and I pulled out the ones that you said were the best evidence, and I've actually had them enhanced,
Okay.
audio-wise and visually, so they're even clearer than what you gave me.
Okay.
So you'll get even greater clarity.
And if I am seeing something that's not there, then maybe I do need some help.
Sorry.
I also owe her a huge apology, which I'm prepared to do. But I don't think that's the case.
Okay,
That's not
I
what's going to
understand.
happen here.
I understand. And what I want to know is why you're here if you've already made up your mind. Because I thought you were coming to get my input and opinion on this as to whether or not maybe you were kind of caught in a loop and were distorting things, or whether you'd already, or whether you were being objective. But you're telling me you've already made up your mind. So why am I talking to you?
This is a very recent thing. I've seen additional videos since I sent those videos in. I was in the dressing room and found more videos.
He's out of his mind.
Now, Tom, let me ask you something. Are you willing to entertain alternative explanations if, in fact, there is one? And I don't know that there is, but we'll look at it and see what we can come up with.
I am willing to entertain alternative explanations. I doubt very, very seriously that I am going to be convinced otherwise.
Yeah. And that's okay with me because I'm not going to try to convince you of anything.
Right.
The evidence is what it is. Now, Tom says there are constant signs all over his home that Tika is cheating. In fact, he claims one of these men was actually walking around the house wearing his flip-flops. We'll look at that evidence after the break. We'll be right back. So you think there's a man standing in the door going, well, what would be the theory under which he would be standing in the doorway going, is that some kind of courting ritual?
Or playing like he's shooting guns at the baby or something like that.
There are so many signs in my house that Chica is cheating on me.
Moving Tom's shoes, moving the mail key, or adjusting the mattress to clean under it. In Tom's mind, these are all signs that I've been cheating.
I've come home and found this mattress like that, off the box spring. That in itself is not cause for concern, but combined with other things, just adds to all the evidence that she's cheating.
No matter what I do, even little things are all signs to my infidelity. It's just not rational, and it's nuts.
Okay. Now, Tom claims Tika hides the men she's cheating with in the blind spots of his surveillance cameras. But he says it didn't work because he did catch her on camera. He claims he's been able to record some videos that proves Tika's infidelity. In this video, Tom says he can hear another man's voice in the room with Tika. And in this video, my team cleaned up the audio with a tape hiss filter. They didn't remove any sounds, they just took out the background noise. But I can play either one. This one is cleaner than yours. Let's take a listen.
It's going to be on my love bug one.
What was it you heard? Where did you hear it?
Well, at the very end, when she says love bug, somebody says, what? That's what I heard.
Okay. Can we have...
That's the worst one out of all of them.
Can we have that again?
Hey, love bug. It's going to be on my love bug one.
Now, your theory is she's on the edge of the bed with her baby, playing with her baby, and there's a man there.
There's a possibility that there's a man in, like, the doorway. Somebody says, what? And in addition to that, somebody's going, pew, 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 as she's making a different sound with her mouth. She's going, whoa, and somebody's going, pew, 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 pew. Like, how do you make both those sounds? I know it sounds crazy.
Okay, so you think there's a man standing in the door going, choo, 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 choo.
It's what it sounds like.
And
could there be another explanation, a different explanation for it? Absolutely.
Well, what would be the theory under which he would be standing in the doorway going, shoo, shoo, shoo? Is that some kind of courting ritual?
Or playing like he's shooting guns at the baby or something like that?
I left my entire life in Hawaii to be with this man that I loved. And he's willing to throw that under the bus for a pew, pew, pew sound.
No.
As if it's meaningless.
If that was the only video I had, we wouldn't be here right now.
Well, let's look at some others. In this video, Tom says he can see two shadows in Tika's bed performing what he says is a sex act. For this video, my team enhanced the audio with a tape hiss filter and increased video quality by just turning up the contrast. So,
can I say something before you play that video? Huh? Right, just in my own defense, so I don't look like the crazy person she says I am. I submitted that video when I did. I told them that it just seemed a little shady, and that there, if some clarity could be, brought out of the video, then that's what I wanted.
Really?
I did not say inconclusive.
Trying to get me to explain to you why it sounds like I'm having oral sex with a man. You're being kind to him, but behind closed doors, after you're triggered,
I've never even showed you that.
You've been evil about how you
I have never showed you that
confront me
video.
with this
I showed
nonsense.
you one video.
Okay, let's see.
Well, should we not look at it?
Go ahead, look at it.
No, it's up to you. If there's nothing there,
if it's been cleaned up and it's it sheds some clarity on the whole situation, I'll be the first to admit, oh yeah, I'm wrong.
That is justification for him to verbally abuse me.
Okay, Tom says that he actually hears Tika having sex with another man in this video, so we enhance the audio with the tape hiss filter and a high-end boost. So the sound that you're talking about is even more pronounced. Let's hear this. Okay, now your theory is that that banging sound is sound of sex.
Yes.
With
And
my
there's
daughter
also,
in the next room
and there's
watching cartoons.
and there's also a spot in that video where she says me. And
Is it coming up?
You just played right through it.
Yeah, because I didn't hear
It's not very
it.
funny because it's.
I haven't heard it yet, and let's
And
back
then-
this up. Let's back this up 10 seconds and hear the words. That's good. If you heard those words come from her, raise your hand. Nobody here heard that.
Okay.
I mean, look around. And immediately after she says that, she's walking through the room, right?
Not immediately after, no.
35 seconds later. I mean, I didn't clean up or anything. Like, that's just not logical.
Okay. Well, there is a video that Tom says is the smoking gun. We'll look at that after the break.
Clearly a whore.
Who was that?
I don't know what you're talking.
You don't know what I'm talking about? You didn't see what you walked into the bedroom, and then over in the kitchen, somebody walks out from behind that wall. Did anybody see that? Do you not see that, Dr. Phil?
Closed captioning provided by...
I feel Tom has some type of mental health issue. Tom's insecurities and anxiety may be the result of trauma from previous relationships.
Tika believes I have a condition called cheater OCD, but with the videos that I have and the evidence that I've compiled, that broke that delusion.
At this point, I can't take anymore. And if you're not ready for a relationship, just let me know. I know Tom's been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and ADD. Tom has not admitted those things because he does not believe that any of that plays a role in my quote-unquote infidelities.
Well, Tika says she believes that Tom may have PTSD from his ex-wife leaving him and says it may be causing his irrational fear that she's cheating on him. Well, this video is what Tom calls the, quote, smoking gun. In it, he says Tika and then a man enter the bedroom. Again, we did what we could to brighten it up where it's as clear as possible, and we use a spot shadow to focus on the area of the video where you say it's happening. Let's take a look.
I'm clearly a whore.
Who was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? You didn't see what you walked into the bedroom, and then over in the kitchen, somebody walks out from behind that wall.
Is that the alien video that you said?
No. it's
Okay,
nowhere
we're
near
talking
you.
about here, right?
There's Tika walking into the bedroom. Right back there, 48 seconds later. Who is this?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't see it? Did anybody see that?
Well, I'm not sure what we're...
She's walking this way into the room.
I have to spend hours explaining that I'm not a cheater. I don't need to explain your shadows because I'm not a cheater. I'm not that kind of person.
That video is one solid video. You never came out of that room when somebody else walks out of the dining room area.
I'm sorry, I don't see that.
Do you not see it either? Do you not see that, Dr. Phil?
Well, I'm not sure what it is you're showing us here because I don't understand.
Okay. The walking is her walking this way,
right here,
into the bedroom and shuts the door.
Okay, then it goes
over in the area that you highlighted. Somebody walks out of the dining room area who is not her.
We have a Jack and Jill bathroom. You can walk that way and back through again.
You can't walk through the dining room from our bedroom.
Yes, you can.
No. No, you can't. No, you can't.
He's going to throw me out on the street with my daughter because he sees a shadow. And 12 years of who I am means nothing to him.
Do you think that your evidence here is thin?
I asked him to enhance the whispering in the video. That apparently wasn't done. That's the exact same video that
That's as good as we can get it. It's hard to pull out something that isn't there. Closed captioning provided by...
I get triggered by the shady activities of Tika. Things get heated very quickly.
You know who I am. I would never cheat.
I really hope that what you're telling me the truth. Somehow.
A week ago, I had to call the police. My phone wouldn't charge. Tom rushed home from work thinking I turned off my phone to be with another man.
She told the police that I was angry and delusional and said that she feared for her safety.
When he got home, he was ballistic, screaming he was going to cut this man's head off. There was no one home. It was me and my daughter. I knew from that point I had to call Dr. Phil for help.
Do you think that your evidence here is thin?
The first two videos, I'll admit, evidence is thin. That one that we just played is a little bit stronger. And they get stronger as you go. Now the one with the sex sounds in it, I asked him to enhance the whispering in the video. That apparently wasn't done. That's the exact same video that
That's as good as we can get it. It's hard to pull out something that isn't there. I'm being very serious with you here. I'm not trying to be a smartass. I'm serious, Tom. We can't pull out something that's just not there. And I'm telling you, on a scale of 1 to 100, evidence that would support that she's cheating you, I would put at -5. It's not even on the scale. I see absolutely no evidence whatsoever that this woman is cheating on you. Now, she may be cheating on you every day, but you don't have any evidence of it. I can tell you that. I don't know what she's doing or not doing.
Is that the only video that you have to show?
I've looked at every video you've sent, and it's just a lot of very poor quality video and sound. Not one video gives me any evidence whatsoever of her cavorting with another man or having a cup of coffee with another woman or there's not anything of her socializing with anyone, verbally, physically, in any fashion whatsoever.
Well, I am convinced that there is. I'm convinced of what I've seen in the videos, and I am standing my ground.
Well, Tom seems laser focused on Tika's alleged cheating when he has a lot of other things that I think are much more logical explanations for what we're dealing with here. And I want to discuss those after the break. You've known Tika how long?
12 years.
12 years. And you've maintained a friendship with her over the years.
A very good friendship.
But what about her made you continue a friendship with her?
She's an awesome person. She's super smart, has a great personality, charming personality. There's nothing not to like. We can finish each other's sentences.
But at what point do you think she became a cold-blooded psychopath and morally bankrupt? Because you believe that at a wedding of a young woman that she raised as her own daughter, that she's in there playing footsie with the man she's marrying the night before she marries him. That takes a morally bankrupt psychopath that would go do that. At what point do you think she went from this awesome person to being that cold-blooded of an exploitive user person?
Well, keep in mind,
Well, answer my question.
I can't explain it. No.
That's your answer.
That's
so I
fine.
can't explain it because it doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense.
Everything you know about her, everything you knew about her from throughout the 12 years, you've never seen signs of her being a monstrous psychopathic user.
No. And it does not make sense.
But then all of a sudden, she just flipped and became that. Would that be a red flag to you that maybe there's an alternative explanation, that maybe she didn't change, maybe you're distorting your perception of her?
Absolutely.
Because that would be a sign that would say, hey.
And that's the reason why this did not end when it first began, when my suspicions first began.
Okay.
Because I asked myself those questions.
Okay, but stay with me here and don't be thinking about what you're going to say next while I'm talking, because that means you're not listening to what I'm saying. Does logic then follow that at least it's a possibility that that kind of a shift didn't occur, that something happened that you started seeing things differently?
Absolutely.
Now, are you taking any medication?
I am now.
Why did you start taking it?
Basically because Tika recommended and said that's what I needed.
So Dr. Tika?
Dr. Tika went to the doctor's office with me and spoke to my doctor.
He has ADD
And
and
convinced-
anxiety and depression.
And convinced the
And it's not
doctor.
Dr. Tika. You're diagnosed by professionals.
And did they do sophisticated brain scans to
No.
determine this?
No.
Because if you start taking that medication and you do not have an underactive neocortex, it can cause paranoia and delusions like that.
He was paranoid before he started taking
Yeah, I
medicine.
understand that. It's like throwing gas on a fire.
Yeah, especially if you abuse the medicine.
I do not abuse the medicine.
You don't have to abuse it if you are
I understand.
predisposed to that,
Right.
and you don't need it, and it's given to you. It can cause you to all of a sudden suspect your own mother, suspect your best friends, suspect your own children. It can cause you to have delusions. We'll be right back. Play What If with me for a minute.
Okay.
What if you're wrong? What if those videos don't show her doing anything untoward because she's not doing anything untoward? and you break off this relationship with a woman that you described as awesome, fun, funny, intelligent, great personality. What if a year from now you figure out, damn, I did all that because I was too hard-headed to investigate the alternative? Don't you owe it to yourself and to her to find out if maybe this isn't her fault or your fault? This is the product of a condition that can be managed and resolved.
Absolutely.
I think you are really sleep deprived. I think you're on a medication that could very well be creating big side effects for you. And I think you've got some emotional damage that's come from some relationship turmoil that you've been through. And I think it's creating a fear reaction that's very understandable. And I think you won't be out the door, in the car and out the gate before everything I'm saying is going to go out the other ear and you're going to go back to, yeah, but. That's going to be a natural tendency. But I also believe you're a man of your word. And I'm asking you if you will make a commitment to see a professional and work through this process and take some corrective actions and salvage this relationship. And if he doesn't do that, then you need to get your things and your daughter, and you need to go back to the people that love and care about you, because this is not healthy for you. You either need to love her like you mean it or leave her alone. I can tell you my professional opinion is this woman is not cheating on you. And I want to give you one last professional opinion and then we're done. I don't think you really believe she is. I think it's a distortion. And I think if you'll get some professional help with it, then I think we'll sort this out. And you'll send me a note back and say, thanks, I kind of lost my way there for a while.
I hope you're right. And I'll do that.
All right, deal. Okay. I want to thank all of my guests today. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe until then.